Hi everyone, welcome back. This video was entirely inspired by the glitter I'm going to be applying, which you'll see later on in the video. I'm first starting out by priming my lids, and I'm starting with the Maybelline Master Prime, blending that in with my fingers, and then following it up with the Art Deco eyeshadow primer. I'm using a brush to apply that one because it is a potted one and I don't want to stick my nails into it. As I say every single time, my very first step with eyeshadow is to apply a transition shade, and for today's video I'll be using a MAC's Cork, and I'm just using that on a really fat fluffy brush and blending that through my crease and in the upper crease area. I'm next going to be applying down a base lid shade with Inglot's Matte 334 color. It's a pale lavender purple, and I'm really laying this down just so I have a base for the glitter I'm going to be applying. We're mostly going to be covering up this shade, but I do want some of the color peeking through. To highlight the inner corner of my eye, I kind of wanted a mix between two of the shades from the Kat Von D Alchemist Holographic palette, and I'm using Ultraviolet first, that's the amethyst shade, and then following it up with a little bit of pink opal on top. In hindsight, I kind of think the purple looks better on its own, but do what works for you. Moving on to my Urban Decay Electric palette, I'm using the shade Jilted and putting that through my upper crease area and really blending it through. It's a super pigmented shade, so start small and then build it up. As a side note, this Urban Decay Electric palette has been on like super sale for a few months, so I kind of feel like they're discontinuing it. I think it's down to like $24 in the US, so if you want to pick it up and you're kind of worried that they're just going to stop selling it, now would be the time to do it. Sticking with that electric palette, I'm now going in with Chaos, which is that really vibrant blue, and I'm patting that onto the outer corner of my eye. It is incredibly pigmented, but it can be a little bit chalky, so do your best to layer it, and I find that patting motions work the best. Although the color can be a little bit chalky, because it's so close on the color wheel to purple and that upper crease area color, which is sort of a purple pink, it will blend really nicely with those shades. To highlight my brow bone, I'll be using my Steadfast MAC Blanc type, which actually is also a discontinued shade. This is getting kind of frustrating, actually. Why is everyone discontinuing the stuff I love? Next up is Winged Liner, and I'm going to be using one of my new favorites, the Art Deco High Precision Liquid Liner. This is a pen-style brush tip liner, which I have mentioned ad nauseum at this point, that I absolutely love. Alright, now it's time for the glitter that started it all. This is Lit Cosmetics Afternoon Delight in the size 2, and I'm going to be applying that to my lids with their glitter adhesive as well. I do this after I've applied liner so that I don't have to cover back over the glitter with liner, which has always been an absolute mess for me. So I'm just laying this down on top of the purple lid shade that we'd applied before, and I'm feathering it out as much as I can into the Chaos shade. I lost a little bit of pigmentation with Chaos when I did this, so I just went back in with that shade and then retouched up the liner. Alright, moving on to the face. I'm going in with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer in their Radiant Pink shade, and I'm just slapping that all over my face. I'm applying it basically everywhere. My foundation today is going to be Makeup Forever's Ultra HD Foundation Stick in the shade Y225. I just hadn't used it in a while and I felt like busting it back out. And of course, I'm just drawing a few streaks all over my face, and then I'll be buffing it in with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Of course, the sponge is damp, and I'm just pushing that into my skin. For bronzer, I'm going to be using my favorite lately, which is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and this routine never changes, but you guys tell me that you like when I keep the face stuff in, so I am just buffing this into the temples, the backs of my cheekbones, and then along my jawline. I'm just creating like a 3 motion or a backwards 3, depending on what side of your face you're doing this on, and really just trying to blend this into my skin. I wanted to match my blush to one of the eyeshadows that I'm wearing, and the closest shade I had was this Laura Geller Baked Gelato Vivid Swirl blush in Plumberry, but it is super pigmented. There is a lot of pigment to this color, so I had to blend it out with my brush and then go back in with my foundation sponge to really knock back the color. Keeping with the color-coded theme, I wanted to use my Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette to highlight my cheekbones, so I'm starting out with the ultraviolet amethyst shade and then following it up with a little bit of pink opal on top. Alright, now to finish up the eyes, I'm taking the electric palette again and using Chaos to line my lower lash line. This is when I discovered that rubbing is not the best method to apply this color. It kind of lifts a little bit, so I had to do a lot of layers in order to get intense pigmentation along the lash line. I decided to line my lower lash line with Makeup Forever's Aqua XL pencil in the shade M92, which is just a gorgeous pale lilac shade. For mascara today, I'll be using the Maybelline Lash Sensational Luscious Full Fan Effect and applying that to my top and bottom lashes. And I always love false lashes in my videos, so I'm going to be applying the House of Lashes Siren Falsies, and I'll be using their lash adhesive to apply that as well because it is the best I have ever used, and I really don't stray from that adhesive. Once you've let the lash glue dry, always make sure to go back over it with your liquid liner so that you can hide the band. This is absolutely crucial, or sometimes you'll end up with like little white bits poking through. For brows, I'm going to be starting out with my NARS Brow Defining Cream in the shade Sonoran, and I'm just applying that as a base for my eyebrows. It's a perfect match for my hair color, I would say, but it's too pale overall as just an entire brow shade. So I first start with this, and then I follow it up with the Art Deco Eyebrow Pencil in the shade number 6, and I use that to add dimension and depth to my brows and really help like beef up the texture of them. I'm going all out with the lips and using Kat Von D's Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Love, that's spelled L-U-V, and of course that's going all over my lips. You may find that you need to apply 2 layers of it because it is more of a watery consistency and some of your lip color will poke through, so just be aware of that and apply a little bit extra where necessary. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!